Hey everyone, welcome to applediaries.com. My name is Mariah. Welcome to my Heal Thyself channel where I discuss health, detoxification, and how to heal thyself. So I wanted to talk briefly about white blood cells. Now I'm just in the process of doing a little research because I'm fascinated on this subject, because a long time ago I lived in Vancouver, the big city, and I was told by a doctor that I went to see, because I apparently had the swine flu back then, and she told me that my white blood cell count was dangerously low. Now, that always stuck with me, concerned me, made me curious, why was my white blood cell count dangerously low? That was probably actually the very, very beginning of my health journey, actually. Going to doctors never really sat well with me, and I only went because I was basically begged to go by a few family members because I had the swine flu, apparently. But I survived, right? And I didn't get vaccinated. Anyways, so I've been studying Dr. Robert Young's work again because he was that was the original book that I read when I was living on my farm, and I was very sick, and I was dealing with a lot of health issues from chronic migraines all the time. I had this leg pain from the age of 6 that just kept me awake. I had insomnia, depression, all these health issues, right? And so it was Dr. Robert Young that I originally read, and it was called The pH Miracle. And this book caused me to lose dairy products, meat, and eggs overnight. Now, this was a huge step because I was living on a 7-acre farm, and we were attempting to make a living from our farm by selling the products that came from the farm. We moved to the farm because we knew about the factory farming aspects of things and didn't agree with that, and didn't want to consume any animal products that were from factory farms or that had cruelty attached to them. So we went and obtained our own little farm area and began raising animals and their eggs and milking our cow and all this. But my health issues kept getting worse. Why? I had raw milk, organic raw milk. I had pasture-raised chickens, and they were eating just our vegetable scraps and and just some organic grains. And anyways, so my health issues were declining. Anyway, so I thought I would start revisiting Dr. Young's work again, because he was a catalyst to get me to drop these products. And then later on, I discovered Arnold Ehret, and then later on I discovered Robert Morse, and I've just been, reading and studying ever since. But Dr. Young's information about white blood cells really fascinates me. He says we should be seeing lots of red blood cells, and then we build our blood with the greens. He's saying that the skin regenerates every 30 days, and the ratio from white blood cells, the ratio from white blood cell count to red blood cell count should be about is about 1 in every 750,000. That's what we should be seeing. He has been studying white and red blood cells under his microscope for over 25 years. So he's saying that we should be seeing in a healthy body lots of red blood cells, and when we scan the blood, once in a while we see a white blood cell. He's defined the white blood cells as sanitation engineers. Their purpose, because he's watched these blood cells for the last 25 years, is not to destroy, not to attack, not to kill, but to clean up the mess that we've created through our lifestyle choices. And the filthier our internal fluids are, the more white blood cells or the more garbage collectors we have. So I found this quite interesting, because when that doctor, now looking back, told me that my white blood cell count was dangerously low, dangerously low? Well, to me right now, that's looking pretty good. And that's before I even discovered this health path, although sometimes, you know, we accidentally become a little healthier throughout the course of our life by accident. It's like you can, you know, accidentally have a forced fast where you don't eat because you're so busy, and then you end up, you know, just eating fruits or without even realizing it, right? But anyway, so he's saying that this is fascinating to me because the more white blood cells we have, that means the more unhealthy and dirtier our blood is, so those white blood cells need to be there to clean up the mess. Now, he mentioned individuals, he monitored individuals, and he saw high white blood cell count in sad diets, people with skin issues, people who are eating standard American foods. He saw more white blood cells there, and he actually helped people by getting them on the green foods. He focuses more on the greens than the fruits, which I find interesting as well, which is why I revisited his work just to see. And he says we build skin with blood, the green foods, and the molecular structure of red blood cells. Oh, this is fascinating. The molecular structure of red blood cell and the molecular structure of chlorophyll is identical. Now that I find very interesting. So the quality of blood in our bodies is determined by the quality of the food we eat. And this is obvious, right? We've known this. And then he was saying that normal blood production takes place in the small intestine. And poor digestion and constipation is such an issue these days that basically he was stating that even people with diabetes, they're just severely constipated, which we know that the GI tract, that must be cleansed and healed if we wish to obtain health. Anyways, I find that highly interesting about the white blood cells because Arnold Ehret in his book, he mentioned white blood cells as well, and his take on it, and I have to go back and read, and I'm trying to find the passage about his take on the white blood cells, but he mentioned that he believed the white blood cells were waste, mucus in the blood, which kind of makes sense. So because that means Dr. Robert Young and Arnold Ehret believed that the more white blood cells that we see in the blood, the more unhealthy we are and the less pure our blood is. They did have different takes on the role, but still they both agree that if we have an increase in white blood cell count, our health isn't at its optimal. So just some interesting research that I've been doing, and I plan to do more and talk about the Western medicine's take on white blood cells and what they believe, because that's completely different, right? Arnold Ehret's work and Dr. Robert Young's work is quite fascinating to me, and Dr. Robert Morris's as well. And when I kind of put the three together and what they all taught and learned, there's a lot of information that, you know, they all have in common, and then a lot of things where they differ. But I'll be talking more about this in the future, so please like, share, and subscribe so I can be inspired to make more videos. And thank you for listening to my rambling, and happy healing, everyone.